pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. Thursday, January 9th, 9:30 a.m. Commission meeting is now in order. Today we have a pretty good variety of important things that we're going to be talking about on our commission meeting. Good morning. So we need to approve today's agenda. We need to approve. We have no minutes to approve, and then we have one financial. That is the auditor's monthly report, December 2024. I don't have a copy of it. I did look at it on my phone, and so we will be approving that. We will keep the agenda. We've got several items on the agenda. We'll keep them in order, and I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. We got a motion. I will second it. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes. Commissioner Jackson is on vacation, and we expect him back next Monday. So that's why he's not here today. Okay, so the first item on the agenda then is Employee Services Director Bryant and
Auditor.
oh, I'm sorry, the auditor budget adjustments. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Well, I am too. So what we have, actually, I'm not sorry. It's a good problem that we ran into the last week of the year. For 2024, we received some additional revenue into some of our road funds that require distribution once the money is received, and that pushed us over what we had budgeted because it was unanticipated. And I have copies here. It's for the road sales tax fund and the cart fund, which we had already amended those once, and more money came flooding in. So the difference in the road sales tax fund is $23,020.74, and in the cart fund is $4,757.17.
Well, that's a positive thing because we're live on YouTube. So for the people watching today or watching later on, that they can't watch it live at 9 o'clock, and we have a lot of people that do that. We can never really have enough money to spend on the road. We don't waste the money, but it's costing us more money every year to do a mile of road. And we have a tremendous county engineer and road crew, but every dollar goes by very, it's just gone. And so anytime we can get extra money to spend on roads and bridges, we need to do that. So I'm glad you found that. So we need a motion to approve this adjustment.
Make a motion.
Yeah, got a motion. I'll second it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good job for finding some more money. Okay, the next item on the agenda is Employee Services Director Bryant. And the first thing we're doing is the employee of the fourth quarter. And this is a big deal. We have approximately 255 employees for the county. That's a lot of people doing a lot of good work. And so just a little bit of background is that we do every quarter choose, and the people that are helping to choose these people, we don't appoint, we don't nominate those people. So the elected officials are helping to nominate someone in their staff. They're the ones that know the people's work performance and things like that. And so there's a lot of good employees that win this award, but there's a lot of good employees that haven't won the award yet. So I would encourage elected officials this year in 2025, if you've never nominated someone in your department. I would-
Everybody can nominate.
Huh?
Anybody.
Oh,
can
anybody,
nominate.
oh, yeah, so
Anybody.
yeah, so even another employee could nominate a fellow employee that they've observed working and
Yes.
things like that.
We've
I
had
think
that
that's
many
really
times.
important that we do it that way, and so I think this is a big honor. So the first person, and I am not going to, I apologize, I'm not going to be able to stand up and walk around today. I actually don't have my leg in the socket today, so I could not get it in. So Miss Amber's going to help do this, and then we'll have them come up here to us. You're going to have to do a little bit extra work yourself today. The Employee of the Quarter, I'm going to read what was given to me, goes to Erin Burton because of all her hard work during the November election. Due to an unexpectedly high turnout, we had to open an additional polling location in Nixa. Erin was instrumental in organizing all the extra election support for both the clerk's office and the Nixa location on top of all her other duties. Her hard work and commitment was vital to the success of the election. And please join me in thanking her for a job well done. So, very good, Erin. Come on up here.
It's okay.
So we got a gift card for you. And I want to just say this too. Every one of these employees that we're doing today are difference makers.
Do you want it open?
Come on up here,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll just get a picture.
Okay.
and count. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, it's in my
You're matching today, though.
We are.
Here it is.
Someone texted me at 10:30 and told me to dress up last night. I'm gonna take one too. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
All right, thank you.
Oh, another one? Okay.
All right, congratulations. I would also say that, Erin, you've always helped me in the commission office, and I appreciate that.
You were helping me this morning.
All right. Okay, the next, I think this is exciting. This is fun to do something positive. So the next group that we want to honor is the Employee of the Year, 2024 Employee of the Year. And I think this may be the first time that we've ever, well, one time we had multiple employees, 2 employees. Huh?
We've done it multiple times.
Oh, we have, okay, well, I haven't been around long enough to know that. But I think this is really cool because we have several employees that were nominated, and we chose a group of employees. And so I'm going to read this to you. This year we were proud to recognize a team of employees for their outstanding dedication and hard work. Earlier, Christian County decided to participate in the senior citizen tax freeze proposed by Senate Bill 190. The decision resulted in significant administrative work, which fell largely on the shoulders of a few key members of our staff. The group of employees who took on the brunt of this challenge, Colleen Loss, Nancy Burton, Sandy Lyles, and Amy York, worked tirelessly to ensure that everything was handled efficiently and effectively. Their collective effort and commitment have been integral to our success in navigating this task. Please join me in congratulating Colleen, Nancy, Sandy, and Amy for jointly being named Employees of the Year. Their hard work and celebration of truly deserve this recognition. Please join me in congratulating them on a job well done. We're going to do, let's do a picture one at a time. We'll do Amy York first.
Oh, no, let's do a group.
I want to do a
Just
group.
one group.
Okay,
Yeah.
a group.
Let's just do
Okay,
one group.
so Amy, you can hand them out.
You didn't get the message. Thank you. About the phone.
I got no
All right, go ahead.
We ready to get up there?
They all
Yeah, we
put
got
down
gift
on
cards,
the-
yeah, we got gift cards for all of you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Hey, congratulations.
Let me just hand these down. I am going to pass them on down.
Thank you, thank you.
Hey, I'm just curious, how many years of work do each of you all have?
Well, it's ironic because Amy worked this her 24th anniversary today.
Wow.
24 years, wow, way to go. How about Sandy, how many years? 8? How about you? How many?
Just
Okay.
4. Hey, that's
Okay.
5.
5, okay, good. Well, I knew you guys, and you guys are integral employees, difference makers for this county, okay?
We appreciate your hard work. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take it both ways. Here's my leg better.
All right, thank you. You know, the interesting thing about these 4 women, and also 3 elected officials, we have Ted Nichols, our collector, Danny Gray, our assessor, and Paula, our clerk. These employees, we started this in 2023 when the commission voted in December to do the senior tax freeze. However, that work didn't stop. And just yesterday, I met for an hour with the collector and the assessor, and we're working on, and we're having a meeting on Monday, a group discussion on Monday, because we have to continue to improve Senate Bill 190 and make it work for our county and work for our seniors. And so there's a lot of work that goes into this as we'll start having new enrollees in February. And so they're going to continue to see what they've done. They've done outstanding work with everything they've always done, and now they have all this new work to do. And they did such a good job at it. So extremely, extremely proud, and I've enjoyed working with them a lot. So okay, very good. The next is Director Bryant. We're going to do a quarterly report.
Do you want a copy? I emailed it. But
Yeah, I've read it.
Okay.
I can send it to you.
Yeah.
Do you need?
I've got it.
Okay. All right. If you guys want to, of course, Employee Services is going to be Human Resources Purchasing in IT. The first page kind of highlights what Human Resources has done in the 4th quarter. The big part of the 4th quarter for HR is always going to be open enrollment and insurance. This year it was, it always is really, but it did come down to the wire this year. We were getting numbers and negotiations up until the day that we presented. So much so that we actually had to make a caveat that I can still have the authority to continue negotiating, and I'm glad we did because we got it down. One of our options, we went from 13% to 4%, so it's a good deal, and we offer now 6 options to our employees. So that was a big part, and then of course starts open enrollment. Once the decision's made, then we have to have open enrollment. We had 100% compliance, and all of those have been entered into the system, so it's a job well done. We transitioned our applicant tracking and onboarding system. Our old system, Civic HR, they did a sunset, it no longer exists. We transferred to Criterion, and it's not been great, so we're going back out to bid. That's what happens when you let the company say, here, we're going to hand this off and let these people do it, and you don't go out to bid. Because I assumed incorrectly that we would be getting the same system or a very similar system, because when someone says, here's the company that could take over for us and we're going to transition you to this, they've partnered with them, I assumed it would be the same, and it is not. One of the things that's difficult is we set the system up to filter people who are qualified, not qualified. I still go in and look at every single one because sometimes there's computer error and I don't want to miss anyone. So I look at every single one. But the people who are actually qualified go to the hiring manager. If they don't like them, or they do a phone screening, or for some reason they see something that they don't like, or a lot of times it's because we do a background check, because our application signs off to you to do one, and the hiring manager can put dismissed. That should generate an automatic email, and I've set up about 15 different emails. That is not an option that they're doing. So then I have to go in at the end of the day and find every single person that was dismissed and send them an email on my own, which is extremely time consuming, especially when you look down and see how many applications we had for this quarter. We had 329 applications this quarter, so that's a lot. That is one of the things that the system has to be able to do. Of course, it does all of our tracking. There is some things that it does, but there's a few key points that is just too difficult to not put back out to people. So that is something that we're working on. I have worked with Paula. She created a form for sunshine requests. We're going to present that later this month, but we did this last quarter kind of realize we identified an issue and a problem, and we're trying to fix it. We'll bring that back to you guys this month. I'm going to bring back the temporary use license for the grounds. We successfully got an extension to the CARE-TC contract. You can just kind of go through here and see what we're still working on. We still, we're dealing with FMLA. We have multiple workers' comp claims, and then I did attend 2 mediations for litigations that we had this quarter. I'll give another legal update probably in February. I'll set a closed session. I don't want to do it right away because there's a couple that could change between now and then. So I'll present that back to you in February. We had 14 new hires. We had 20 separation of employments. And if you look back at the top, our number was 252 because the day that, and it's actually back to 254 today, but I will tell you, this is the day that I printed this, that's where we were at. We had 3 retiring elected officials, 5 terminations, and 12 resignations. That is the high for the quarter, for the year. That was the high quarter for the year. But I will tell you, I've been here 6 years, and this was the lowest turnover we've ever had, was 2024. So it was the first time we've been under 20%, and that, to me, is phenomenal. So good job to the county and our leaders for retaining people. We have 15 positions open right now. You can see at the bottom those that are open. I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around. I coordinated the Fish Fry and Friday Night Lights. Is there any questions about the HR part of it? Kind of just a rundown.
Ms. Amber, I just want to make a comment because I want people to hear this. When I got here in 20, I asked you what the number 1 problem was in the county, and you said retaining employees. That we hired good employees, we trained them, and then a year or so later they leave for $2 or $3 an hour more. And I think a reflection of our whole group, you, the HR department, all our managers, elected officials, and our employees. What we've accomplished in 4 years is the fact that we now have the lowest turnover in quite some time, and because that's extremely costly when we have to keep hiring new employees, and it's not even good for the citizens because it doesn't provide the customer service that we need to provide if we don't have long-term employees. So I think that we're accomplishing our goal, and Ms. Den, our auditor, and everybody has helped making sure that we stay competitive with our wages and our benefits to make sure that we provide the services we need for the county. So I say kudos to everybody because I think that makes me happy.
Me too. Me too. And if I went further and pulled out the, we'd even be lower because there's different matrix you can use, but I used the basic one, and for the first time we're under 20, so I'm really proud of that.
That's good.
go to the purchasing side. For the fourth quarter, she had 943 purchase orders. You can see that she had RFPs, ITBs. She issued 3. She had 2 pre-proposal conferences. Both were dealing with the jail. Multiple new contracts, multiple contract renewals. You guys are aware of the emergency purchases. She did do quite a bit of work with our surplus for the fourth quarter. You can see Kim does a great job with that. Making sure that we, if we're not using them anymore, we need to make sure that we're getting the worth of them, and she does a good job with that. I mean, when you look at it, it's like we get rid of everything that we're not using now. So that's a good thing. Kim, our purchasing manager, she was the president last year of MAP. She's going to stay on the board as the past president and advisor this year. And of course, that's good for us because then they pay for everything and she gets all that knowledge and gets to travel. So we are proud of her for that. And our purchasing assistant also went to the national. She actually did a 2-day course for public procurement. She was able to do that online, and she found that to be very helpful for her. And I was glad because sometimes you give training right away when someone comes in, but she had, we waited several months since she's been here, and she said it was even more valuable because then she, it actually makes sense to her. So that was a really good thing, and I was glad Kim found that for her. Any questions for Kim or purchasing?
I just want to make a comment too on that, on Ms. Kim. Just like yesterday, I'm driving over to PT at Nixa yesterday afternoon, and I get a phone call from Kim, and she lets me know that we sold 2 more cars. One for about 13,000 something, and one for 3,000 or 4,000. But what we have done over the 4 years, and I don't think you've been here 4 years, but since I've been here, 3 years. But I mean, what I noticed was we had a lot of cars and equipment, all kinds of equipment. We weren't using it anymore, and I really believe that we're doing a good job for our county and putting money back into our accounts. We can spend it for something else. If we can't use it anymore, sell it. And the county is doing a great job, and that's because we have the best purchasing manager in the state right here.
We do. She's fantastic. I'm going to keep her.
Yeah.
And then we have our IT department, and I always joke that it's the shortest list that takes the most time. But I gotta say, this quarter we did pretty well. I didn't really have much to do, so good job. They were very hard at work. One of the big things, they are upgrading our wireless, which is very important. That's one of the tasks that they had this quarter. But the other thing is, there's a new rule that's going to be for websites for ADA compliance, and the federal government gave us a little bit of time to fix up our websites. John Beatles and I did a little bit of research. He actually started having meetings with Civic Plus and found out that they have a program. And we purchased it, they scan all of our websites, all the county websites, and they tell him what's wrong and how to fix it. So we're going to keep him too, so he can keep doing those things.
Yeah.
But we're going to do all county websites, because if something's wrong on one of these websites and the county's clean, we're going to be sued for if it's any of theirs. And there will be companies that start trolling websites as soon as this law is into effect. So we're going to we're ahead of the game by quite a bit, so we're good to go. They assisted with some remodeling of the jail and relocation. And every time we do that, we just find issues and upgrade and fix the problems from past issues. We are now hosting our Christian County for the first time in 5 years. It's now back here. They had 259 service desk tickets. That's 1,128 for the year, and you probably could add about 20 more because I don't put in a ticket, I just call them. So there's that too. but they still have several things in progress. But they are just a great team. They are always trying to find ways to fix things. I've never, ever not seen them busy. They are some worker bees, and we are happy to have them. I will say that when we brought this in-house 2 years ago, we didn't have the team that we had, so we had several contracts that were kind of like our safety nets in case, something happened. And those were 3-year contracts. This is the last year of those contracts, and our Bill and I, we are looking at all of those to see what we can eliminate. And we are in so much a better place than we were 3 years ago. So we actually can decide what we need externally with educated. We know what we need now, and we'll be able to have. We're not going to have any. Not that we just didn't know what we didn't know. And so we had to do that. And so it will be some cost savings for next year. So this is the last year with some of those costly contracts.
So that's another good thing. We're going to have another cost savings with not having to renew some of those 3-year contracts.
Yeah, we won't. Some of them we're going to have to keep because you have to keep some, like
Sure.
cybersecurity and things. But we'll also be able to renegotiate and look at other. We'll make sure we're getting what we need this time.
Mhm. Well, I want to say this to our IT staff, the 3 team members, is the fact that they're smart. I've offered, for the public to know, I offered to be a backup for IT, and they've never called me. And that's a smart thing. Good job to our IT department.
It is. I will tell you, it's a joke at my house. Anytime I don't know how to work something, they always go, "And you're over IT." Not really.
Right.
Not really.
All right, we're very good, very good. Good report. And all the elected officials, if we can get our end of the year quarterly reports done in the next few weeks, that will be good, okay? All righty, the next item on the agenda is Resource Management Director Whiteon.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So, first issue I have for you is a request to finish up the reappointment of 3 of our P&Z commissioners. Back in January of last year, I presented a recommendation for reappointment for the 3 seats that had expiring terms. Talked about it. And y'all decided to hold off on that for various reasons. At any rate, the matter is still unresolved. So again today, I would like to present to you that 3 of our current members who are eligible for reappointment are willing to continue to serve. Those being Vance Jenkins, Brenda Hobbs, and Danny Matthews. They've all done a great job. Becoming a P&Z commissioner is sort of a thankless task. You don't make everyone happy all the time, and there is a learning curve associated with it to try and implement the regulations that have been adopted by the county. So I would ask you to consider voting to reappoint these 3 today.
Very good. And I would make, because we have brand new commissioner, Johnny Williams, and Western commissioner to replace Hosey Blue that retired, and so this is his first meeting, so welcome.
First one.
And we appreciate you and look forward to working with you. And I serve on planning and zoning on those Monday night meetings, and these 3 people do a very good job. In fact, everyone on the planning and zoning board does a very good job. They're knowledgeable about what our statutes and regulations state, and so sometimes what they state and how you feel might be a little bit differently too, and that just kind of makes it a little bit more difficult and interesting too. But these 3 people have done a great job. We had no other, I believe we had no other applications at that time, and I believe we have another opening maybe coming up
Yes, potentially.
Because someone having to step down because of maybe a personal reason, a family member type thing, and we're going to miss that person, but we're going to have another opening. I think you have some applications now, and we need to let the public know that all volunteers are extremely important in this county. We can't do without volunteers. And so if someone wants to serve on any board, we're trying to be more efficient about notifying the public that there is openings, and then we go through our process. So I know you'll do that, but I think these three people need to continue to serve. We appreciate the fact that they want to serve, and one's one of our officers of the group, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and so appreciate that. So
I may be poking a bear here, but I'm
Yeah.
just curious of what the delay was for renewing those. Was it anything to do with the people that were on the board, or was it something?
No, not at all. I believe back at that time, there were other boards where the commission was discussing how to go through a reappointment process. Should it be uniform?
So it wasn't
across
anything
all
to do with
boards?
their actions or anybody that was on
No,
the
not at
board?
all.
No, as far as I know, we haven't had any complaints. I mean, just like Mr. Todd says, the interesting thing about every planning and zoning meeting is there will be a large crowd, and half the people go out happy, and unfortunately, a group of people go out not happy, because that's just the nature of planning and zoning sometimes. It makes it a difficult board to serve on, but it's a very important board to serve on, and we're trying to make the right decision for every situation for our county. So I just appreciate volunteers, as we all serve on a lot of boards and stuff like that. We were having an issue with the library, and we working on resolving all that, and then we're trying to make more uniform all the different boards, and so all that work on the desk there and that folder has to do with every board in the county, and we're working on processes right now. Okay,
Need a
so
motion?
need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve those three people. I will second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Next, I've got my fourth quarter / annual report. Did you all get a copy of this?
I do, yeah.
Yes, very good. Well, I'll just try and get through this as quickly as I can. So the fourth quarter brought some changes to the Planning and Development Department as far as staff. Brenna Howard, who has been an employee of the county for a while, she took another job with CitizenServe, which happens to be our permitting software vendor, created an opening, and we were able to add Jacob Phillips as our senior planner. He's sitting in the back there. He brings some great experience and education to our team, and I honestly believe that right now we've got the most talented and experienced staff put together that we've ever had. In terms of land use change, we worked through quite a few requests for land use change in 2024. We had 26 rezoning requests that were recommended for approval by the P&Z Commission. That involved a total of 390 acres. Also, there were 5 conditional use permit requests, and that affected another 76.7 acres. So that represents changes in land use in the county. As far as residential development goes, it continues to be strong. We processed 98 minor subdivision applications and replats. That resulted in the creation of 121 new parcels. We also had 5 named subdivisions that were approved during the year, and that was another 40 residential lots. So those are all parcels created that are ripe for residential development. We also continue to work with developers regarding new residential developments that will move through the major subdivision process in the coming months. Currently, we've got 2 going on, and that has the potential for another 35 residential lots. So we, do expect that our building inspectors will continue to remain busy in the coming year. As far as commercial development goes, we always work with developers on projects and have ongoing projects that may, span months and years. We are somewhat limited because we do not have public infrastructure out in the county as far as public water and sewer. But despite that, over the course of the last year, we had some mentionable projects. O'Reilly Automotive Store out on CC, the Fremont Hills City Hall, Ozark Mountain Off-Grid, the Schumann Cattle Office Building, remodeling over at Hopedale Baptist, and there was a warehouse operation over near Nixa. We worked through the Cassidy Station project, and Nixa Schools also worked with us. We also, towards the end of the year, met with several individuals with some pretty significant commercial projects that we'll be working on this year. All of that results in investment in Christian County. Overall, if we look at the estimated IBC valuation that is associated with the permits that we issue, we had $110 million combined of new investment in the unincorporated county. So that's a good thing. We also work on grant funding opportunities when we can find them. We were able to, during 2024, take advantage of 2 funding opportunities. One was through District O. We were able to get funding for some self-dumping hoppers that the recycling center is able to use with the electric forklift that we got in a previous year. That grant was for $9,270, and those will increase the efficiency with which we are able to load things into the balers. When we get the new facility built, that's when they'll really become very, very useful for us. So we continue to assemble equipment and processes for that future time. We also took advantage of federal funding for $77,850 through an energy efficiency community block grant. That allowed us to purchase 2 Ford F-150 Lightning electric trucks. It took a while to get through all that, but it was worthwhile. Ultimately, by the time we factor in that grant amount and Kim's ability to liquidate one of the vehicles that we weren't using anymore, we basically got 2 brand new EV trucks, and the county spent $7,000. So that's a pretty good deal for 2 trucks. So that's a win. And just towards the end of the year, I submitted a grant application for $708,000 that would be used for the construction of the planned recycling facility. There's no required local match on this program. It's pretty competitive. If we were able to be awarded that, it would be great. But after submitting it, I found out that the City of Springfield submitted one as well. We'll hope for the best. And like I said in there, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I think we put together a pretty strong application.
When will you know on that?
It'll be, I think, towards the end of the year, if I recall correctly. On code enforcement. So we get calls all the time. Complaints, neighbors pointing out that another neighbor perhaps might not be following the codes correctly. And I've just got a summary here of the activity that we had in that realm. And you have to remember there are a lot of calls that get taken care of without formal complaints. Some of those work their way to the prosecuting attorney, some do not. We still have quite a few open, but we continue to work through those. All in all, we investigated 55 complaints, and many of those require multiple visits out to the site, so it consumes a lot of time, staff hours, and fuel, but it's part of the regulation, so that's what we do. And on to the building inspection department. I think our climate as far as instruction is still very good in the county. It is, again, a decline this year from previous years, but I think we're going to turn the corner perhaps this year. We've got a new administration coming in. Hopefully interest rates become more favorable. We issued 522 permits throughout the course of the year. It's interesting, though, that the declines we saw were in areas like swimming pool permits, manufactured homes, and demo permits. All in all, as far as new residential construction, we were about even with last year, so that's good. Our staff did a great job keeping up with the inspections. We did lose 2 of our young inspectors throughout the course of the year. They found jobs in other places, but we were fortunate to find a new inspector, Carl Starmer. He brought some significant experience to our team, and he's really transitioned well into the government realm, and he's already passed his residential certification program, which is great, and he's been a great addition to the county. We're very happy to have him. I've got some charts in here that kind of explain the dispersion of types of permits issued, the types of inspections we do. Over the course of 2024, the inspectors performed a total of 1,663 inspections, along with another 360 pre-construction site inspections. Altogether, our inspectors logged almost 41,000 miles. And that's because we have to cover a jurisdiction that is spread across 560 square miles. I started keeping track a couple years of an interesting topic, I guess. The average square footage of new single-family residential permits. In 2024, that average square footage was 3,989 square feet. Last year, we saw a little bit of a reduction in that figure, down to 3,600 square feet. But it's interesting that on average, this last year, the size of dwellings being built are 350 square feet larger, which don't know that it says anything in particular other than we build pretty big houses out in the county. We're also continuing to track the growth in the number of permits issued for solar panel installation. It's unusual. After several years of increase, in 2021 we peaked at 68 solar panel permits. It started to decline, and we were down to 31 this last year. It's interesting. There's all kinds of rebates and incentive programs out there, but we've continued to decline. But it's consistent. I looked, and Missouri is, as a whole, kind of below the median as far as adoption of this technology. So we're not the lowest. There's many states far below us, but we're not out of line with the rest of the state. Over at the recycling center, Lee and Bobby do a great job. We rarely hear a peep out of them. They just come in, do their thing every day. Something gets broke, they fix it. Talk about low maintenance guys. They're great employees. Over the course of the year, we also were able to help 56 individuals that had court-appointed service hours that they needed to fulfill. We had collections which were fairly consistent with what we've experienced over the last few years. We've got some charts in here that show the amounts of what we are collecting and how that changes over time. This year was a very, even year. Usually in the first quarter we see a real peak in cardboard. I blame it on Amazon and Christmas. This last year we really didn't see it that much. We'll see what this first quarter does this year, though. It'll be interesting. One item of note is that that facility is equipped with this older oil-burning furnace to try and provide heat for it. It's kind of funny. Lee comes in once a week and he battles that thing all the time to keep it running, almost like the guy in the Christmas Story that goes down in the basement. It's not going to run forever. In the plans for one of the buildings over at the future campus, it calls for some suspended heating units run by gas, and we're looking into purchasing one of those that we can use to heat that facility at least for the next year or so, and take it with us. So I just wanted to put that on your radar. And then lastly, over in the environmental side of things, as Miranda kept you informed, the county has invested ARPA funding approved by the County Commission to award projects for community stormwater programs and facilities. And she just did a great job of taking a what-if idea and delivering a really impactful result for the community. Also, the Missouri Department of Natural Resources spent several years attempting to revamp the MS4 stormwater permit program. That resulted in Josh Bird and Scott Hayes spending a lot of time trying to adapt our relevant policies, practices, and programs to become compliant with what honestly have been some arbitrary and vague standards that are now set upon the county. We generally maintain and attain compliance, but there are still some areas that we're in conflict with, and we're going to have to see how we can work through those in 2025. As always, our facility over at 1106 West Jackson hosted a lot of groups for meetings in our larger room. Got a listing just of examples of things that went on over there. And over at the County Government Plaza Project, 2024 was a full year of notable progress over there. During the first and second quarters, our contractor K&B Equipment completed all the installation of water and sewer line infrastructure. Over the summer, we solicited bids for the site grading, stormwater, and road improvements, and also bids for construction of the first structure to be built there. And after some modifications to the scale of those projects, we were able to award those bids to Emery Staff & Sons and DeWitt. Also, during that time period, our real estate agents began working to market the commercial outlots along 14 and 25th Street, and interest has continued to grow. During the third and fourth quarters, Emery Staff & Sons transformed the terrain of the site to its current condition. Hopefully, if you've gone out there, you know it's changed a lot in the last year. We've created multiple shovel-ready pad sites. The installation of the stormwater sewage pipes and detention basins is basically completed. There's remaining work to be done in the winter and the spring. They'll put in the terrace sidewall in the main basin, and they'll reconstruct and complete the internal road and place the gravel base for the public walking trail to be built there. And then towards the end of the year, DeWitt began construction on our operations building that will be home to the county's on-site health clinic. We experienced some delays due to the bedrock that was in the foundation area. We picked the one location on the site with the most possible rock to move. So after we've worked through that, we can say that we have built solidly upon the rock. Right? At any rate, we anticipate that they'll continue working on that through the winter and spring, and hopefully we'll have that done in July. I did include a picture just from a few days ago that shows these guys that are very temperature resistant out there working in the rain and snow and cold. That's all I've got.
Very good. Very good report. Any comments or questions? I just would like to make a couple of comments. First of all, grants. Good job on getting grants for the citizens in this room and for the ones on YouTube. Our elected officials and our management staff do a great job in securing grants. The Sheriff's Department, just all over this county, we get great work on applying for grants and getting grants. I have a feeling that we might get that grant that you're talking about, that $708,000. I mean, it doesn't matter whether Springfield applies or whoever else applies. It seems like for us in Christian County, we get a great percentage. The road engineer, I mean, everybody gets really very successful in getting grants, which really helps us because as it continues to be an issue with sales tax collection in this county, and sales tax is still the number one way that we derive our budget to provide services for this county, and we got more and more people buying online all the time. Grants really help us. I mean, we're doing so many great things for the public because of grants, and so I really appreciate that. So I just appreciate you as the manager and your staff for doing the things that you do over there, and just keep watching the progress out on 14 and on, is that 21st Street that's right there by B&B Theater? 23rd Street? 25th Street. And there's a number street, 25th Street. So it's 20-something. And because the progress is just absolutely phenomenal, and it's going to be beautiful. You're going to have walkways that the public can come and walk. We're going to kind of take advantage of some of the what I'd call maybe a blemish in some of the land, and turn that maybe into a little amphitheater and stuff for the public. And when the whole thing gets done, it will hopefully be able to provide all county services in one location. It's not going to be next year. It's going to be a process, okay? But when it all gets done, I think it's really going to be a feature for Christian County and serve the public well. So you guys are on top of that, and so it makes us feel good. Okay. All righty. Next item on the agenda is right-of-way acquisition. Planning Administrator, Mr. Hayes, how you doing?
Good. Quick correction. Jake is not here this morning. He's still at the office since me and Todd both came.
Okay, all right.
So I am Scott.
Yeah, you're Scott. I know that, and
Jake
that's what
is-
was throwing me off.
That's all right. We won't hold it against him. All right. These are just the two cover sheets that were in what should have been in your packet. I just printed them out and presented them to you guys so you have them in front of you. But what we're here for this morning is to take the 18 right-of-ways that are in your packet for sections of road throughout the county. So under Article 5, Section 2 of the county subdivision regulations, when a property is subdivided, that article would require that deficient right-of-way be described and deeded to the county. So this requirement helps to offset additional development impacts and increased usage due to the creation of new lots, which could create new tracts, new commercial businesses, whatever they're zoned that would be allowed in there. So staff at the office takes care of executing the right-of-way deeds with the property owners, and then we collect those throughout the year over the months, and as we get a collection of them, we bring them to the county commission to more formally approve those and finish executing those deeds and take them in for our road system. So today, staff would ask for the commission to make a motion to accept the 18 sections of right-of-way as presented in your packets. If that motion is made and those are accepted, we'll move forward with getting the signatures on those, getting the clerk's attestment, and executing those to get them into our system. That's really all I have on that. If you have any particular questions, I can answer them. The idea here is the first sheet on the far side is numbered 1 through 18, and then on the map, the dots show the location where they fall 1 through 18. Your packets had the surveys that went along with each one, as well as the right-of-way deeds scanned in. I've got the originals with me here. I have the surveys if you need a particular one to look at or anything like that.
All right. Any comments or questions? Okay. I need a motion to approve these 18 right-of-way acquisitions.
Make the motion.
Okay, we got a motion. I will second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is Collector Nichols and Assessor Gray. We're going to talk about Senate Bill 190 discussion a little bit. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
As you know, we're set up to begin accepting applications the 3rd of February. That's what we sent out in the flyers and the statements. We have to prepare for that with new applications, and thank goodness Sandy in the assessor's office has been real good in putting up with us and making changes and making new ones on it. And we have the renewals, of which we had approximately a little over 4,200 of those this last year. And by putting in the notices in there, we're expecting probably, it's a guesstimation, but between Danny and I, we've kind of guessed probably at least maybe 3,000 more that could be coming in. Well, when you're handling all of this, last year, the money that for the paper, the files, the notaries, all these things that went along with it, just that part alone, I kind of went back through and looking. There's roughly $8,500 that I could pinpoint. There's probably more than that was picked up through my office, to the discretionary, to the tax maintenance fund. The ordinance is the county ordinance, and I feel like that should be something earmarked that we would be picking up through maybe the general fund. And I don't know if there was something put into the budget for that this year or not, or what was set up for it on that. And then, we're going to have postage, we're going to be mailing out a renewal notice for those 4,200 plus. There's going to be that. We're going to have printing for those renewal applications to be mailed out. And there's going to be some IT charge for him to set that up, to print that out, to have those done. Originally, we was going to send out a a paid receipt with those, but after we discussed it between Danny and our personnel, we decided that that's probably a waste to do that, just paper, and because they're probably gonna maybe not bring those in, then we'll have to verify them, so we're just gonna fix it, so we just have a box and we verify that on the application. Make it a little bit, and less to put in the file on it. But, there's that, additional cost. As far as what we spent on postage last year, I have no way of really knowing that one. I just have a question mark as to what that is. Amy might be able to tell me, because I think we...
It was close to $3,600.
Okay.
I think there's multiple offices that participated in that. I know we sent a lot of letters out. We didn't track postage on that.
Do we have like a full total of what you think? All the way across?
Because I know we put in the postage machine, it was after. Amy went in afterwards, we kind of came up, we said, hey, we need to put a code in for it, so it may have been a little bit more before that, on it. The programming, I did this off the top of my head this morning, so was it 36,000?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I still remember things. It was 36,000, which we'd estimated a lot more than that on it, so we came out real good on that part. Labor-wise, it's hard to say, because during those times, I basically had three. I mean, almost everybody in my office we was handling SB 190, somebody was, as well as if we wasn't doing that, we had someone paying taxes on that. When I was sitting here, Joyce, my newest employee, she's getting her notary. She sent me a text. I passed. So we got to go through, so I'll be back where I have two notaries. We did have a notary here in this office. We no longer have that. So that's, we've lost a notary there on that part. Maddie has a notary, but she is very tied up with the job that she has. And so it's hard for her to be able to help us out. And so that's something that we need to look at is maybe, and Melissa has a notary in the treasurer's office, but she's now the treasurer. She's not going to be able to help us with as a backup. So that's something we need to look at, maybe some notaries and some other offices on it. And as you know, we also use this office sometimes as overflow to come over here. Debbie, that transferred over to HR, she worked for me, and she had a notary, gone because of this. So I don't know the total solution for it, but two notaries can't do all of it on that. And some people say, well, don't do away with notary. But Danny and I both agree that there's less chance of them falsifying that application if we have it notarized on it. That's what Austin even agrees with us on that part, on that. But I guess my question is, how are we going to fund it this year?
So, Miss Amy, in our 2025 budget, did we, in different areas of our budget, did we account for what we spent last year, which we never knew what that was going to be, and then what we look like we're going to be spending this year? This is a new program, so
It depends on whether or not the involved elected officials and department heads submitted it in their budget. I don't know every single detail behind every single line item.
and sometimes you don't present it or put it in the budget because you don't even know what it is. But, I mean, that's something that we're gonna all have to work together on, because for all these elected officials and even the commission office, for what we're doing, we'll just have to work together this year and make sure that we've got that correctly in our budget going forward. I think it will stabilize. The expense will stabilize over time. But a lot of people don't realize, I mean, we were proud to be able to provide a savings for seniors that they're going to actually start to see in 25 on odd years, because that's when the property is assessed, is on odd years. But the seniors are going to save money. But it did cost the county a considerable amount of money to do this, and I want to kind of brag about these two people, and then Paula in the clerk's office, and then what the commission office did together, because there's 114 counties in the state. There's less than 20 counties that have approved this Senate Bill 190 in the modification Senate Bill from 24, and so when you have less than 20 counties that still do not know what to do and how to do it. We have Johnson County coming down soon. We have counties all the time coming to Christian County to see what we do. We are the model of the state. Our system and our program is much better than Greene County. And I mean, I can say that safely, that they're having problems trying to get their system figured out, how they're going to do it. And we already know that, and we can keep making improvements. But we do have to make sure that we all work together on our budget. So we'll work together on that, because I don't know where all that, where that needs to be either.
Johnny, to answer your question, just looking here at the totaling, the programming, the postage, and roughly what I could pick up off of I'd say somewhere in the $50,000 range.
Okay.
With it, the programming would not be so great because it's in place.
It will be reoccurring.
It won't be reoccurring.
Makes sense.
We will have to, a little bit there because of this mail out, this first one, will be a small one on
Sure.
it.
So based on what Amy had said, did you guys put anything in your budget for this increase, or is this something you're saying we didn't, so now we need to look at covering that?
I'm speaking out of turn a little bit for Ted, but I kind of felt like, we feel like that was a commission decision as far as they're the ones that put this ordinance in place. And so we've kind of made up the slack last year. Sure. We're kind of expecting some help on that this year.
Okay. So you didn't have anything budgeted for in the 25 approval?
I
Okay.
I didn't really budget into it.
Okay.
You know, on that part. Hopefully it would be, the big thing is we're going to have, for the new ones coming in, we're going to have new files. We're going to have a different colored file. So we're going to have different color, so we know that those are 25s. We're going to have file cabinets. We're going to have paper.
So you're thinking in
notary.
addition to your 25 budget, we're thinking roughly it's going to cost about 50 grand more, is that what?
No, it won't cost that much.
Okay.
No, it's not going to be your postage.
Probably 10 to 15,000 total.
Yeah, because there's going to be some letters that's going to have to be sent out, not nearly like we had before. I'm assuming, those 3,000 will have to have letters sent to them if there's 3,000 new ones applied, because they'll have to have approval letters or reject letters on it. And labor's going to be what labor is.
We just absorb the labor.
Yeah, it's in our office and it's going to be there.
Sure.
Trying to figure out what we got. Try to plan for it.
All right, well, that
But
would
we
be...
just wanted to bring this up so
Sure,
that, so it's out there on the table
sure.
on it.
Well, we'll get it figured out. We'll get it figured out. and-
I mean, we made it work last year.
Yeah.
We'll make it work this year.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're working for these seniors to work best that we can.
Yeah.
We just got to follow whatever the statutes allow us to do, that's what we're going to do.
All right, okay, well, very good, and we will, like I said, we'll probably make an improvement or two on the ordinance, and because we do ordinances in the county, and so with the help of our county attorney, Mr. Fax, we will make another ordinance change in the next few weeks. As we
Yeah, a couple of
discussed.
little improvements too.
Yeah, okay, well, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that information.
And thank you for making our employees the employees of the year. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
They work hard for us.
They
Very hard.
absolutely deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. Okay, the next item is commission communications. A couple items that I've got to discuss, and we'll see if Commissioner Williams has anything. Next Thursday, so for the ladies, I think we're going to start the commission meeting at 9 a.m. I will let you know in the next day or so what that is. We had decided to, Ms. Kelsey and I had talked about having a regular time for a commission meeting on every Thursday. That's a regular scheduled meeting. And we kind of came up with 9:30 because we've done some 9s, we've done some 10s, and we've done some 9:30s, and it's kind of confusing for people not to know exactly when it is. Part of that was my fault because when I had my accident, it took me a lot longer to get dressed in the morning with one leg than with two legs, and so we were trying to push the meeting back to make sure I could get here on time. But now that things are better, not perfect, but better, we are going to try to do 9:30. The reason why that is for 9 o'clock next week, that was the time that Jack Garvey, the attorney for the opioid settlement that's representing us out of Kansas City, he's going to be traveling down here, and he does Christian County first, and then Kane County, Stone County, and Greene County. He tries to do 4 counties in one day, and so he's got us first, and he asked if we could do ours at 9 o'clock. That was set several weeks ago, and I didn't think about that when I talked to you, and so we may have to, unless he can do 9:30, which I'll call and find out, but if he can't do 9:30, we'll have to do 9 o'clock, so we're already making an exception, but it's okay. I mean, we do what we have to do. Otherwise, we're going to do 9:30. The other communication that we have is tomorrow we have a very important meeting that was scheduled at 9:30 with the auditor, something that's by statute, and we are still trying to figure out, and that's at 9:30. That's a commission meeting. That's another meeting that's open to the public, but with Commissioner Jackson on vacation and with me with a serious conflict in the morning, we're not sure what we're going to do about 9:30. We are trying to get hold of Commissioner Jackson while he's on vacation to see if he could conduct that meeting tomorrow morning to make that happen at 9:30. We're also watching the weather today because we will have a meeting with 5 or 6 of the leaders of the county to determine what's going to happen with this snowstorm, and whether we would probably not close. I don't think it's going to look like that, but we may have another delay like we did this past week with inclement weather, just to give citizens and our employees a safe time to get to work. So we might not even be here tomorrow morning at 9 or 9:30 if there's a delay, and that's a decision made by 5 or 6 of us. So we'll see. We're still trying to make it happen at 9:30 is what our goal is right now. So that's the communication I have. Do you have anything that...
Sorry, I'm fighting a cold. Mainly just to tell everybody thank you. You know, I've been in pretty much every single person here's office. I haven't got over to see Todd Miranda yet. Just getting spun up to a lot of information and a lot of things to get me up to speed. And so everybody's been great. IT's been great helping me do that. So I appreciate each and every one of you as I come to your office going, I don't know what this means. What is this? Everybody's been really great to help me through that. So it's appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah,
You didn't stay over there very long. I was going to show you how to work the mail. To get it open. Help
You want me to be your notary? Is that what it is?
I didn't need a notary right yet.
Well, when we get a new administrative assistant, I'm sure that will be one of their requirements, that we'll have that person be a notary too, so we can be part of that process. And just for you all to know, Commissioner Williams' office is going to be downstairs in this area, back behind this wall here is going to be his office, and that will be a temporary office for a while. Our plans for 2025 will be that all 3 commissioners are going to be on the 2nd floor. Right now, I'm on the 2nd floor, and then Commissioner Jackson's on the 2nd floor. We've got the old judicial building, judge's office in between, the jury office in between, but we'll have all 3 of us upstairs on the 2nd floor. Right now, because we don't have an administrative assistant, our phone numbers are on the door. And when you call that phone number, if we don't answer it, the message goes everywhere you call. Whether you call this commission office phone, or you call my office upstairs, or you call his office or his cell phone, they all go and give us messages right away. So we should be able to talk to the public anytime somebody calls us quickly, because IT has arranged for that. And so even though we may not be here all the time like we want to be here, because we don't have anyone else to help us man this place, we still should be able to communicate. So I think that's all the comments that I have. I think we've got a lot of very important things going on in 2025, and starting next week, there's several meetings going on concerning the use tax, which is a sales tax on things that you buy online and stuff like that. So we're going to be really talking about that once we get these meetings going. We want to notify and educate the public as to what that all means. So appreciate everybody being here today. Let's pray that we don't get a lot of snow and that everybody's safe getting to work tomorrow, and we'll be okay. And thanks to the road crew for doing a great job with the storm that we had last weekend. They continue to do a tremendous job in the county, taking care of roads and making them as safe as they can. It's not easy. And same way with the sheriff's department. They're on call 24 hours a day. Somebody's working out there when we're worrying about the roads. So, hey, thank you. We are adjourned.
Point of order, you're not adjourned.
Oh, I'm sorry. We are not adjourned.